Today we will be covering about business process flows. Okay, and this is the part number 3 of season 2, and in which we will be having a deep dive session around the business process flows, about the setup, how you can draft it, as well as what are the mechanisms that you would require to follow by the time that you are designing it, and what are the capabilities that you will be having once the business process flow is going to be set it up here. Before everything, a little bit about housekeeping. Please feel free to ask your question. You can unmute yourself by the time that you speak. And this recording will be posted on YouTube as soon as it is rendered. And once again, really appreciate for your time and cooperation in participation, uh, specifically for this particular presentation. You can also access all of our previously covered session on YouTube, as well as you can find the presentation on OneDrive folder. As discussed earlier, we will be talking about the business process flows. First, I will give you a brief about the BPF or business process flow and why it is needed, what could be the requirement, and how you can achieve it. Then we will also talk about planning and the drafting of BPF. It will not help you only for the BPF level. It will also help you in terms of whatever the scenarios that you would require to build on the top of Dynamics 365 or Power Platform. Then we will have a walkthrough how you can set up, manage your business process flow. And then there are a list of the consideration that we have to consider by the time that the business process flows are being managed. And then we'll talk about our upcoming session and how we are going to move on. So first of all, related to the business process flow, you can consider it as a guided process or guided routine, which will only help the business users to follow a certain path. It will give you experience that what could be the stages to complete a you can say to complete a process there. So it could be 2 level, 3 level, 4 levels, totally up to you. How many you can say processes that you want it, means the stages that you want it, and it is going to help you to complete a full business cycle or business process there. So normally what happens here, you have the sales mechanism where you have a complete customer journey for any sales transaction. It starts from the inquiry and it ends with the business closure, or you can say the deal closure. Either you are going to lose the deal or you are going to win the deal. So it's a complete journey that you are going to map. Similar way, if you have a customer service module where you are going to manage the business cycle from the starting point of the interaction from the customer till the resolution. So that's a complete journey that you're going to define. And business process flow, it will help you to draft all of the certain stages and the processes that you would require. It contains mainly the stage where you name it, as well as the key fields that are required to accomplish by the time that the user is moving to one stage to another stage. Now, the best part is in the business process flow that you can combine the different type of the entities. Different type of entities means you have the inquiry, means there is a lead, you have the opportunity, and you can combine them. Similar way, you can combine other entities also. In case of, you can say you have any custom logic which is built, custom table or entity, that you can also link it within the same process here. So now in the business model, what you will find, if you are using the old version of Dynamics, then you may experience the legacy interface where you can see it here. And there is an enhanced version on the latest version, which is, you can say 9.1, and you can say later stage, you will find unified interface here. So main objective is same, but you can say look and feel is a little bit different here. Now, if we talk about specifically for drafting our business process flow, So what we normally recommend or we follow to design a layout means to identify what is the procedures needs to be followed, how many business stages are involved, what are the key information is required to be filled in. So that will combine each and every aspect of your business logic. So to draft any business process flow, even though you can follow the same practice in drafting a workflow as well as in the action, even you will see on the Power Automate, where you are going to draft all the requirements and the design itself. So from here, you are going to divide it to just represent what's going to be happen in the what stage here. So let's take example of this particular form layout where we identify, okay, how many tabs will be there, what column will be there, what fields should be there, what could be the stages, and under each stage, what will be the fields there, and what should be the data type so that you are going to capture it there. So these are the all drafting that you would require to do it. So it will help you in order to manage the business process flow in a long run. So you can use any office product. Let's say you can use PowerPoint, you can use Excel, even though you can use Word, you can also use the Visio in which you are just going to draft, or even though you can also use any graphic tool. You can also Photoshop it, you can put it there, or even though you can also do it on the paint if you are expert in managing all of the steps on the paint level. So you just needed to draft it, how it will look like, and what are the stages need to be followed there. Okay. Now the next part is how you will find the business process flow, or how you are going to build a business process flow. So in the unified interface, you will use the make.poweras.com, where you would require to make sure that you have selected the right environment. You open up the solution, or you are going to create a new solution. And under the new tab, you will find automation, and inside automation, you will find the process and the business process flow. So that's the you can navigation, you will find it there by the time that if you are using the particularly for the new interface, means you are using for the development of a new you are developing under a new interface. Or if you are using the legacy, then you will find it under the processes, where you can see all of the processes, either the action, workflow. Along with it, you will find the business process flow there. So you would require to navigate to the advanced setting, then settings, and the processes, so where you are going to initiate it here. So next is, let's look into the process, and I will just giving you a brief walkthrough about the business process flow here. So let me just jump to my environment, and from where I'm just going to navigate. So this is my, you can say, demo environment that I'm going to show you. First of all, to set up a new business process, as I mentioned, if you're using the legacy environment, you just need to come here, advanced settings, and from here, you will go to the processes, and you will find the option here. Just click new and just type it what type of workflow you need it. So from here, you are going to select business process flow. So that's in the legacy. So as we are working on the new environment, so what I will do, I will use this particular Power App Maker solution there. So first, I need to make sure that the environment is selected correctly. Then I will go to the solutions. Okay. And under the solution, either I'm just going to create a new one, or I'm just going to use the existing one. So let me just take an existing one. So in this scenario, I have one solution with Dyn 365 enhancement. I'm just going to open up the solution. And I'm just going to increase my width of the screen size to just collapse the sections. And from here, you will see all list of the objects in that solution. Okay. And to create a new solution or create a new process, you just need to come here in the new automation process, business process flow. Okay. Or if you want to add the existing one, the same process, add existing, automation, and from here, the process. So here, it will show you all of the processes which are available here. Either it's a BPF, action, or workflow. So that's the only difference you will see it here. Okay. Now, to set up a new business process flow, what I'm going to do, I'm just again click on the new process, means automation process and business process flow. It will prompt me with a name. So let's take example that I'm just going to put the name of my business process. Let's take example that I want to set up the lead and opportunity, the traditional one, that I'm just going to enable one business process flow for, let's take example of car insurance. Let's take example. Sales. I'm just going to put in the name here, sales management or sales process. I'm just going to write something. Then I need to identify what should be the primary table from where it is going to start there. So as we are going to use with the lead, so I will go with the lead process. And from here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click create. So what the system will do, it will create one process definition for me with the starting of blank, and from where I'm just going to continue. So first I need to define the stages, add up the required field, then whatever the elements that I needed, I can add there. So either it could be stage, data capture, branching, all of the components. This is what I'm going to show you here. So let it be open. Environment is getting a little bit slow. Now you can see here, this particular editor has open now. Now what areas that I have it? Let me just introduce some of the basic components here. There is a plus sign, the same of the component. So if I click on the plus sign, it will allow me either I can add the stage, which is you can say the stage of the process. If I want to add a condition here, it's not allowing me here to click here. Condition means where I'm just going to set up a branching based on the data. I can put the branch here, whatever the data is being captured there. Also, I can add the data step, means which is the data is required to be captured from the form itself, or you can say at the stage level. Also, I have the option where I can also add a workflow, means I can execute the workflow at the beginning or at the end of the stage. So that's what I will show you also. And also the action here. So if you have action ready with you, you can also enable it here, add it there as a, you can say stage workflow there. Okay, so action can be added there. So the main point, the difference comes here in the workflow and the action. The workflow, you have the trigger point before, means entering in the stage and exiting the particular stage there. So that's you can say workflow execution. But in the action, you have the provision that where you can execute the action on manual, you can say click there. Okay. And now there is also process is coming up here, the flow, where you can have the Power Automate flow and you can execute there. So let's take a first step here. What we need to do, we just need to identify what is our first stage there. So from the lead, what I'm going to define, I'm just going to name of the stage here. So I'm just going to put the name as here, data capturing. Now I have to define the category here. So category is a stage category. Even though you can have your own category, you can define it. That's a customizable. But system also give you the provision where you can also add your own defined categories over there. So first category, I'm going to select it here as a draft. and I'm just going to click on apply. Now, at the second stage, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add the fields that are required to be added there. So first thing is I need to make sure the topic is added. I need to make sure the contact details, the first name, last name is added there. And also I need to make sure the lead source and the rating is also added there. And to do so, what I'm going to do, either I click on the component or I can click on the plus sign and I can add there. So let's take example. I'm just going to add it here, the data stage from here. And where I need it here. So I'm just going to click and it is going to drop it there. There is also one default stage. So I'm just going to default you can data set. I'm just going to change with the field which is required. So first thing is topic. I need to make sure it is required or not required to move further or move, you can say next stage, it should be filled in. Okay. Second thing, I'm just going to apply, even though you can also rename it. I'm just going to rename it narration of the inquiry or inquiry narration. I'm just going to put the small name so that it will not be overwritten. So I'm just going to put here inquiry narration. And I'm just going to apply. In the next stage, what I need to make sure the name of the person. So the first name, so I'm just making sure that first name, it should be there. And I need to make sure it is also required. And I'm right. Now I need another data step. I'm just going to drag out from the components point. So this is what you can also do. And here I need the last name. And also I need it to be captured. So that's the, you can say, state number one of the basic information. So let me just do one thing. Instead of data capturing, I'm just going to put it here, basic info. Now what I'm going to do at the next level, I need another stage here, which is marking the lead to actual, you can say, some more details here. So I'm just going to put here identification. And I'm just going to make sure that it is in a qualify stage. And here, I'm just going to add new data stage here and data step here. So by default is one is there. So I'm just going to add more. So let's take example lead source I need, and it required to be captured. So I'm just going to mark it as a required. Then what I need to add, it's already there. So I will make both because it's already two is also there. I'm just going to add here. So I'm just going to put here confirms interest here. I'm just going to put as required. And also I need to put the rating. And it should be there. Now, if you want to see how does it look at a first instance, you can also visualize. How you can do, first you need to just save it. Then you would require to activate. We'll continue with this process to attach it with the opportunity and directly with the code, so we can do it. So first, how it looks like. So I'm just going to activate. And from here, what I'm going to do, there are some consideration points that you have to take care. One is the order of the process flow, means what should come first or later. You just need to make sure, because whatever is set on the top, by default, it will be start appearing on the particular entity. Okay. Then you need to make sure that the required rights are assigned to the relevant security role. You just need to make sure also this particular part also, because the people who doesn't have the access of the BPF or business process flow, they wouldn't be able to access, or you can say see the process flow. And the third thing you need to consider that whatever the changes that you are going to make it, you need to make sure that this particular business process is also available in your app there. So there are three considerations. One is the flow. Second is security role. Third thing is adding the business process flow in the app level. And there is also fourth one. Whatever the solution that you are working, because by default, whatever the business process flow you are going to manage in the system also creates one table for it. And that particular table, it is going to use to manage the related records there. So that's the surety level you have to do it. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to see the order process flow here. So from here, I will just increase the priority. Then I will show you the security role. Then I will show you in the app. Then we will see how it looks like there. And then once we will set it up here, it will work fine. So now you can see that particular one is on the top here. Okay. So we just need to make sure it's on the top here. So we'll press OK. But the thing is, no, sorry, there is a car insurance. That's another one. Insurance is different. So we will make sure that this particular part is on the top here. So we will do it. Press OK. And once we are done, we just need to make sure on the security role. I will also show you how you can set it up there. So let it be completed. Because what the system is going to do, system is reprioritize. So whatever we have set it on the top, it will come first, then second, then third. So let it be completed. So it's taking a little bit of time here. Might be possible my browser is making fun. So I'm just going to open the security role here. It will list down all of the available security role. As I'm logging with the administrator, so I don't need to give myself as a, you can say the right, but you can see it here. Let's take example of the salesperson. I'm just going to open up the sales one, which is related to here, down, sales manager or sales person. I'm just going to open up here and you will see that particular business process flow. It is now going to list down under the business process flow. So I'm just going to come here, the business process flows, and you can see this particular part is appearing in here. So what you need to do, you need to see, okay, the user can create, user can read, user can write. If you want to allow them to delete the instance of business process flow, you can also allow them. We normally don't recommend to go for it because whatever the business processes are there, so let it be there. And append to. So these are the all security access that you have to make sure that you are going to give to the certain business rule who are going to use this particular business process. Okay. I'm just going to click on the save and close. And the last part, what I need to consider is adding this particular business process flow in my app there. To do so, what I will do, I will not going to close this window. Let it be open. So I will go back here. And what I need to do, I just need to come here in the apps there. Even though I can also create a new app if it is needed, I need to do the same thing. Or as I'm using the existing one, so I have already added to the existing process here. So just need to click here on the add existing. And from here, you just need to select app, which type of app, model driven. So it is going to list down whatever the apps are available. So you can select the app which is needed. And to just make sure that which is the app here, so app is this one. So as soon as we are just going to click it here, it is going to show you all of the apps, which is certain level of the forms business processes for that particular area, or you can say for that particular application. So we are working on the Sales Hub. So I just need to make sure in the Sales Hub, the required business process flow is added. So I will go back again and I will open up that Sales Hub app there. And from here, you will see one part which is available here as a automation. And I need to make sure that particular business process flow is already available. So I will come here, add a business process, and here I can search with the car insurance sales process. I will just click here. Once I'm done, what I need to do, I just need to save and publish. Let me show you one thing before I'm just going to jump there. So I'm just coming up here on the lead. If I click new, what the system will do? System will show me whatever it was prior to set there. So you can see insurance sales was coming up here. Now I want the car insurance on the top, and also it should be available. Even though if I open up the existing account or existing lead record to just show you if it is available or not, so I can make sure that it's there. So I'm just going to open up here, and from here you can see processes. And if I just click on the switch process, you can see whatever the processes are available on that particular app, they are listed here. So as soon as what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hit the publish option here. Now this particular business process is also be available within the same, you can say, app there. And as we set on the high priority, so by default, whenever I will click new, the first process that I should show as a car insurance sales. So I'm just coming up here. So let it be published. So now it's published there, and I will come here on my screen on the same app. So I will click Control F5 to just reload all of the settings again. And if I click new, now you should be able to see that one. Car insurance sales process. We have only two stages. One is the basic information, whatever the information that we have put it there. And there should be also next as soon as we are going to enter the details here. Okay, so that's the next level that we have it. Now, what we are going to do in the next, you can say the process, we want some condition here that the based on that particular record, let's say if the confirmed interest is no, so it's mean it shouldn't go to the next level. Otherwise, there if the confirmed interest is yes, so it's mean it should go with the opportunity and the quotation. So what we are going to do it here, I'm just jumping to again on the business process flow editor. And I'm just going to add this branch here, or you can say condition. So I will just click add condition, or I just need to drag and drop. So I'm just going to drag it from here to here. And here I'm just going to put this, that confirm interest. And I just need to add the field, which is, you can say, confirm interest equals yes. Then what should happen? It should go to the opportunity level. If it is not, then the end of the process. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a stage here. So first, I'm just going to put it here, lead lost. And here it is the closure. I'm just going to add, and we are still on the lead level. So I'm just going to set apply. Okay. And here I'm just going to add one field, which is, sorry, not here, here on the data step. And I'm just going to put some detail. Status is I'm just going to add there. And now if interest is there, then it should go to the opportunity. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come in the components. I will add a stage. And now this particular stage where I'm going to do it, I need it to be for the opportunity here. Now system is asking me about the relationship. So it's optional if you want to maintain. If there is any, you can say fields are available in between, you can have two fields. So we know in the lead, whenever the lead is qualified, so there is a originating lead is available there. So we can make the field as a relation. So it's totally up to you if it's optional. If you don't want to make it, let it be there. Okay. So for the time being, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on the originating lead here. And I'm just going to put it here, negotiation. Okay. And under the category, I'm just going to put, let's take example of double. And once I'm done, I just need to click apply. Now here on the opportunity, what information that I need to mention or need to capture is the need here. It should be there. I need to make sure the particular process, not process, or field, which is, oh, sorry, I made a mistake here. I mistakenly add this field here. So I just need to remove. To remove, just click the data step and hit delete, or you can also delete from the top. I'm just going to click OK, and I just need to add the field here. So let me just put here and come to the components data step. So I'm just going to add here. I'm just going to add one. Field is potential customer. I need. Okay. And I need, it should be on the top order. First one. Sorry, I didn't apply. So let me just put it here. Potential customer and apply. And I need to make sure that particular one, the need, it should be captured. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add another thing, which is the, because as soon as we are done from the opportunity, we need directly jump to the quotation part. So I'm just going to add one more stage here. After the opportunity, even though I can also add the branching if it is needed there. So I'm just going to add the branching, not branching, or the stage here. And here I'm just going to put as a propose. I'm then going to put quotation. Quotation. Okay. And I know there is a link or opportunity on the quotation. So I'm just going to create a link here. And from here, what I need to do, I just need to add some certain field, which is, oh, sorry, not stage, data steps. I need two field estimated and this effective from date and to date. So I'm just going to put affected from. It should be captured and to. Effective to date. And now I'm just going to add one more is the closure. So I'm just coming up here to components, stage, closure. So here it is. We are just going to let's close. And we should remain on the quotation. The closure. Okay. And I'm just going to apply. And from here, we just need to make sure that there some relevant fields are there. So I'm just going to put, let's take example of status reason. I'm just going to apply here because at least one data step or data field should be there. Now you can see that's a complete process flow we have drafted there. Now, what you have observed, I didn't deactivate it. Okay, so this is what you can do it, either deactivate or update the business process flow and hit update. So at this moment, what the system will do, it will apply the changes whatever you have made it there, and it will apply on the same data set, you can existing one, also the new one. So that's the advantage that you can take it. If you deactivate and by the time the user is started working on it, so might be possible he is not able to see the business process flow. So that could be the disadvantage that you may feel if you are working on a real time or production environment. But let's say if you want to do it on a runtime basis, so you can do the modification and directly update. So it is going to be applied there. Only user would require to do, he just needed to refresh his instance or refresh his, you can say, the page. Now, one thing I'm just going to do here, I'm just going wanted to add some process flow here. So here I'm just going to add a one action which is already created. So here I need one action. And here I need to select the action which is already created on that particular entity that I'm working. Okay. So I'm just going to click as a lead verification. Okay. It is asking me about the input because as we discovered last time that you have the input and the output. So here I'm just going to put as an input parameter. So in input parameter, I'm just going to put as a topic, which is the field on the lead. Description is a normal description we have on. So that's the input that I just put it here. Now that's the action point that you have taken here. And even though I can put it here, lead verification process. Okay, I'm just going to put it here as a action item. Okay. Now, there is also one I needed to show you as a workflow. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add one workflow. Just click on the add workflow, or even though you can do it from here on the components. So I will add trigger point. Now, system is asking me the trigger, stage entry, stage exit. So I know whenever the user will finishes off this particular lead closure, so it should be on the exit part. So I'm just going to put it in exit, and I want the system to automatically disqualify the lead. So the one workflow is already set it up here. I will also show you the workflow definition. So here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the name of that particular stage, or let's say disqualify. Display name is not appearing here, so let me just apply directly. Yes, it's not now appearing because it's the same of my workflow there. We can't change it. So now I'm just going to save. You can say just update. Now let me show you the definition of disqualification or disqualify workflow, and there was a lead verification. So what I'm going to do, I'm just jumping here to my main solution, and to just showcase you what the exact definition is already set it up here. Disqualify is only disqualifying the lead, and the lead verification, it will do some actions. So let me just come up in the process. So this one we have used disqualify workflow. So I'm just going to open up here. At the end of the closure means we are going to disqualify. So that's a very straightforward. You can see lead is open and customer interest, or you can say confirm interest is no, then disqualify. And no longer interested, we are just going to flag it. So that's the normal, you can say basic workflow we have put it there. And we put it there as also on demand. Okay. And to just test it out here. And what we are going to do, we are just going to apply on the real time. So as soon as user is going to finish off his process, it should go away. Okay. And the second process, which we have done, it's the action. So action is the lead verification. So let me show you what are the steps are written there, or just the definition are configured there. So it's a very basic one where we are capturing the topic description, and we are just going to create a task here and assign to the user. So that's the very basic one that we are doing. Now let's jump to the process here. As soon as we have done with our this particular configuration, so now we are going to test it. To test it, what I need to do, I just need to control F5 my page to reproduce everything and retrieve all the latest configuration. And now from here, you can see that's the complete business process flow is start appearing it here. So let's start with the business process here. Let me just put that detail. So request for new car insurance. I'm just going to put the name of the person. First name is Muhammad, last name Muhammad Alam, job title is manager. So I'm just putting the basic information. Okay. And I'm just going to save the information here. Now, as soon as I'm just entering the information, what the system will do, whatever the fields are already there listed on the form, you will also see if you just click on the stage, particular stage here, you can see it's already filled up. Or even though what you can do, let me just do one another thing. I'm just going to put the name here. And if I'm just jumping here, so you will see no data is there. So now in the process, it's required, which I marked it as required, but it is not required on the form. So at this particular stage, if I will try to move next, system will prompt me, no, you need to enter the detail. So this is what you can control the navigation. Okay. I'm just going to put name here. Now that's the one thing. Second thing is the basic one is here that you can also, because sometimes whenever you are working, so it is getting showable or hide. So what you can do, you can also stick up here. You just need to pin this particular stage, so it will start appearing on the right side here. So from here you can easily identify, okay, what are the required one and how the system is filling up. You can do it. Okay. Now we have also created one action. So I'm just going to execute here. So that's the action that you can see. If whenever the action is set it up here on the business process flow, so you will find one button is execute. So I just need to execute, and which is also covered in the last topic that action would require some trigger point. So either some manual, this is what you can do it, or there's some routines, or you can say logic that you have built either from the workflow or a plugin or JavaScript. So these are the all steps that you follow to just trigger that particular action here. So you can see that particular action which has taken the topic as well as description. So before I'm just going to do it, let me just put some details here so that just to elaborate more. So let me just go here in the details section and add some description here. So here I'm just going to put here one basic insurance, or I can just put one basic third-party insurance. Third-party insurance. So I'm just going to put. Just going to save it. And now I'm just going to execute. You can see now it's appearing it here, description and a topic there. So as soon as I'm just going to hit execute, what the system will do, whatever the logic is defined on my action processes, so system will act it and it will do the work. So in my definition, what I have done, I just created a one task. So system should create a task there. So if I'm just going to come here and let me just refresh my timeline. There should be a task. So now you can see this particular task has been created. So task has been created and assigned to me based on some information, which is you can say the narration or a topic as well as a description. So that's a task that you have created. So that's the you can automation that you have made there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on the next, or even though I can also come here, I just need to click. I need to close this particular pin so I can see there also. So I'm just jumping here, click on the next. System will verify. Yes, everything's okay. I have added there. And now I need to verify what was the lead source. So I'm just going to put it here. It came from the partner. And up till now, I didn't receive anything. There is no confirmation. Now, as soon as I click no, what you have observed, rest of my processes are now removed because based on the branching, I put the logic. If the confirmance is yes, then system should follow the complete path. Otherwise, on the other way around, it shouldn't go with the lead qualification. Directly, lead should be disqualified. So in this way, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say, okay, customer, he doesn't have the interest. And we are just going to go in the next stage. And from here, if I finish this off here, so what the system will do, because we have put it up in the process, that as soon as I'm just going to finish it off here, so system should disqualify my lead there. So I'm just going to save it, and there should be trigger point, and we will see if it should work or might be possible. We have the selected the wrong one. You can say the delayed one. So let me just refresh my page, or we will make sure that particular process is written correctly. No, still it is nothing happened here. So let me just come here because I marked it as a finish, but eventually it didn't completed my process. It didn't, you can say, executed my process. So let me just do one thing. Let me just go back because my logic didn't work in this way. And let me put it as a state, but eventually I'm not able to see my test because it's already finished there. So let me just do one thing. Let me go in the process, deactivate, and let me just enable, or you can say bookmark this one. And before entering in the lead source, I just going to move my trigger point. So here, what I'm going to do, let me just go back and click here and put it there as an active one. So it is not allowing me to set as active. So let me just go it from here. Oh, let me just refresh. Might be possible my trigger point has been triggered. So yeah, just click here. And if I just click here, yes, set as active. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going back here on my process. Oh, it's already open. So I will come here and this particular workflow, I'm just going to put as the entry stage. And I just need to update. And let me just make sure one thing, process definition is correct. So I will go here and I will click on the disqualify lead workflow. Yeah, this no longer interested. Yes, seems okay. I will close it. Done. It's already updated, I think. Yes, and I will go back here and I will just control F5 my page. Now you can see this ran very late, delayed one. So let me just requalify or reactive my lead and I'll show you. System makes sometime very fun in updating because it's so because of the cache, because what we had done, we were not deactivating and reactivated again. So that sometimes you can say created an issue here. So we just enable it here. Now I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to do the next here. And now you can see at the entry of that particular state, system will disqualify. So now you can see the behavior of the system. Status is changed to no longer interested. So you can control it through the workflow here. So I didn't do anything. I didn't write any code. We just set up the code and we just put it there in the business process flow as well as within the workflow. So that's the automation that you can do it very easily. Now, let's take another example. I'm just going to create a new and to complete the path there. So I'm just going to put here that heavy motor or heavy motor insurance. I'm just going to put the name here. And I'm just going to put name, certain information I don't need it, so I'm just going to click here. Now, same thing. What I'm going to do, I just need to make sure all the things are there, even though I need to also execute the action, so I can do it. Even though if I don't need, I am just going to skip it to then move to the next. By default is yes, even though if you can just revert it back to no, so system will not show you the rest of the other stages there. So I'm just going to put yes. So it is the employer referral, customers are interested, and it's a warm. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on the next one. So first I need to do make sure that, okay, interest is there. So I'm just going to make sure it's there. Now you can see that particular negotiation part is under my opportunity. And you can see one more option, which is a lock. Lock means this is what you have to take some action here. So what action I would require to do in order to qualify? So what I would require to do, I need to qualify from the button here. So to do so, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on the qualify. System is going to take me from the lead to the opportunity level. So now we have the both entities are connected. Both, or you can say many entities are connected there. So there are some stages issues here, dynamic property description. That description is not declared, so I just need to put the description also here because in my opportunity, I put the need as a mandatory. So that's the reason system is not allowing me. So I need, because in the default functionality, that particular description is linked with the need field there. So I'm just going to put it here that two trucks will be insured. Okay. And now I'm just going to qualify. Oh, there's something happened wrong here. The right, let me see the errors. Topic is not defined, is not declared. It may be accessible in the production level. Description is not. Okay. I think this is because of this particular process. So let me see. Let me just try it out here because this need I need to make sure. And then if I just qualify, no, there's something strange is going to happen here. The dynamically activity has been following validation error processing. Description is not declared. Okay, let me just see what I have done on my business process. So I'm just coming up here. And here, if I'm just going to put as a stage, what should be the reason here? So lead is qualification is there, opportunity is link, category is develop. Let me just do one thing. Let me just deactivate and activate it again. So there's something is different errors coming up here. Yes, reactivate. And let me just go back here. Right.
Can you download the log file if it's there?
No, actually,
Yes.
that's it's being
This seems
happening
like
on the
some custom
opportunity level.
process error. Maybe it's a test system, so someone is
Yes,
testing something. It's not related to BPF.
because there's some action point on the opportunity level. So let me just make sure. And let me just try to qualify. Otherwise, we need to check on the process level. I'm just going to qualify. No, there is a certain process which is being
Wait.
executed
Okay,
on the process here.
lead.
So let me just see if something on the lead. So let me just go back because it's not showing me the names here. So let me just come in the processes and let me just
Activated.
all processes and primary entity, custom filter. Because there are some business rules, no, not business rules, the entity level action is being happening. Let me just do one more thing. In the meanwhile, system is opening. Let me just create a direct opportunity. So click on the new. And here, I'm just going to put it's I'm just going to select and I'm just going to save it. It's working fine. It's working fine. And yes, processes. So let me just go ahead. Equals opportunity. let me just go down, 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 down. Long list.
Try Control F.
No, it will not work. So we need to go one by
Next,
one here.
enter.
So
It
yes, it is.
it
Yes.
works.
That's something I knew. In the list, searching in the list. I normally use it for the page level. Okay, so what we have opportunity. There's nothing related to here because that's all the system one. There is nothing we had created our own. So let me just do one thing. I think we are mapping a wrong field. Might be possible. So let me see if something happens here. Potential customer and the need itself. So I think that's is causing the issue here. So let me just say apply and save. Because what's being happening to initiate to the next level, I think that particular field is making a problem here. Now, if I go back, Control F5 and see. Ah, not this one, the created one. Go here on the lead, and from here, Wahaj Rashid. I'm just going to open up this and qualify. So now open up here. So I'm just going to hit qualify. There is a certain error. Dynamic activity, private implementation of activity one is the dynamic activity has been followed the validation. The compiler, this one, I
So
think this is
it might be on the lead first of all, the process, or otherwise it could be plugin also. So that's fine. Maybe someone is testing, but I
yeah,
think
I think
they
that
got the idea.
is
Yeah.
causing from the particular action. So let me just try last one, then we will move to the
Well,
next one. So I think because what I'm thinking, because that is causing one issue here. So let me just do one thing. Let me just remove this action because these are the all details are captured there. And because the activities are not close, so that could be the thing. And it is generating the warning and it is generating as an error. The open activities. So let's try this one. Otherwise, I'll move to the next level. So now we are just going to come here and let me the last try. And now we are just going to qualify again. So we are just going to hit qualify. No, there's certain issue, I think, within my instance. No, one thing. No, not an issue. Move to the next stage because that's the main thing I can see here. There's some certain information which is already filled in because the error is now changed. So let me just complete this particular task for me and now qualify. Okay, there are some statuses. We just need to make sure we have confirmed. Okay, that's the problem actually. That's the problem that's been happening. So let me just put it here. That's it was the causing the issue. This field was not marking as a yes here. So let me just do it because by default I'm just pressing yes. System is not triggering it out. So that's actually a problem with the system field here. So might be possible that we can create our own different one and we can go. So I'm just going to call it because that is causing the issue here. So let me do one thing. Let me just remove that particular condition. Then we will press it again because that system field is creating problem. So let me just do one thing. Let me just delete this our point here. And then I'm just going to delete this particular condition. Now we have a very straight path now. So I'm just going to update. And now we can test because that particular system field was creating an issue because it was not taking as a yes. So it is not marked, or there was alternate way. We can also put as a no instead of making it required. So that could be alternate solution that we can do it. So I'm just going to put F5. And now should work fine. Although we have removed our branching condition. We already bypassed our timeline. It's 9:12. We will wrap up very quickly. So now I'm just going to move to the qualification, then quotation, then closure. So that's a very quick, fast process we'll do. I'm just going to qualify. To do so, we just need to make sure one thing because it will still show me an error. Because what I had done here, I didn't make this field not required. That is causing the issue here. And update. But I have removed all of my other stages here. Instead of making this an, you can say, non-required field, non-mandatory field, we could bypass all the things. So now we are done. We will go back here. We will just refresh page. And now this field should be non-mandatory. So we are good to go. So we are just going to qualify. That was causing the issue, that particular system field. Now, in the next level, what I'm going to do, because once I'm done, we are starting negotiation, we can add the products or whatever it's needed. Now, in the next level, what I'm going to do, so as soon as I just finish it off this information, so I'm just going to click on the next stage and the next stage, which is literally the code. Now, in my business process, what I have done here, I have created 101 relationship. Although in the system, opportunity may have a different type of the quotations also, means there is a many to one relationship is there. But in my process, what I had done here, so I had created 101, means one lead, one opportunity, and one quotation. So that's the logic that I had applied. So I'll just click on the new. quotation. So system is going to create a quotation. And now you can see one thing, the business process flow is the same, which is continuation from the lead to opportunity and the quotation. So that's the complete journey that I'm going to do it here. So from here, I'm just going to select any product list to just showcase you what's the other details. So I'm just going to put one price list, and I need to make sure that I have added the effective from. So I'm just going to put today till end of this month. So I will save it, and I will just quickly add some of the products. So I will just add product here. I'm just going to add simple product. Pointedly, there is nothing here. So I'm just select writing product. So I'm just going to put insurance premium. And it is saying that I'm just going to put 1500 charges. There anything, I don't need anything. I'm just going to save. Oh, that's again, because that's the logic we put it there. It is not applying. So let it be there. Let it be there because that's a complete. Because there's a complete. You can say process uh, product configuration would be required. So we are just going to bypass this one. So as soon as we are done, we are just going to add whatever is needed. So let me just go back again on my particular part. So as soon as we are done with the quotation, so what we are going to do, we are just going to press next, and we are going to close our business process. So that's a complete journey that you can define it here. Means you can do the same thing that you can after the finishing, as soon as you are here, so you can open up the dialog to close the quote as a won or a lost. So it totally depends. If the customer shows interest, then you can won it. If it is doesn't, then you can make it as a loss. So that's a functionality that you can do it. So I think we have covered most of the things, and one thing is related to part here that in order to set up the business process flow on any custom entity or even on the system entity, you just need to make sure that check is enabled on the customization. So let me show you from here under the solution part. There is a definition where you just need to go in the system. I'm just jumping here in the account. Let's take example. If you want to apply, the same logic applies on the system as well as on the uh, retail level also. So now that's the one thing that you can see it on the system that you wouldn't be able to see it here on the latest version. You don't have the option, but for that one, what you would require to do, you can go and open up on the legacy interface, and from where you can see the setting here. So to do so, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump here on the legacy because that's option is yet to be available on the Power Platform. So I'm just coming up here in the customization or a solution directly, and you will see there is a list of the tables or entities. And from here, you just need to make sure this particular part that we open. If I just click on the account, let's say if I want to apply any business process flow on the level of account or any custom entity, you just need to make sure that this particular entity has enabled the business process flow or not. So just need to make sure that it be open. It will come under the journal tab, and you will see one checkbox. So you can see this particular one, business process flow, that particular part I'm talking about. So for any custom entity or even system entity, you just need to make sure if you want to apply and you want to add in the business process flow, you need to make sure that this particular check is on here. So once it's applied, you wouldn't be able to remove it. So before doing it, you need to make sure that you have full consideration on it. Okay, so just to have one consideration point. So I think we have covered all the points, and then we will move to the next part, which is some of the details. And to conclude our session, there are some consideration that you have to take care by the time that you are configuring. It's just like a 16 points that you can see it here. First part is you can't have more than 10 activated business process flow per table. So that's the point number one. So that's very interesting that you can see in any table, you can have maximum 10 business processes. You can't go more than that. So that's the point number one. Second thing is each process doesn't contain 30 stages. So you can't go with the length, means the stage number of stages in a certain business process flow. Then in the multi-table processes, you have option only till the 5 tables. You can't go more than 5 tables as a link and processes. Then you, as I mentioned, that the business process flow will also create a table. So by the time that you have the table, that you can't do the modification on the form, which is business process flow contains all the definition. So this is what you can't do it, because if you want to try or find out the business process as an entity, you can find it through the advanced point, but you can't do any modification on the form level on that particular business process flow. Okay. And the main part, which I already explained, the appropriate privileges on the business process flow is required to be managed in the related security roles. Then business process flow is required to be added in model-driven app. It's only supported in the model-driven app. It doesn't support on the Canvas app. So that's the consideration that you have to be aware of. Then each branch that you are using, it can't go up till you can say 5 levels. So within the branch, within the branch, within the branch, within the branch. So that's the conditioning that you are going to put it here. So it can't go with the 5 level deep there. Then whenever you are doing the branching, you just need to make sure that it should go with the immediate steps there. So you can't go, means let's take example, if the branch is validation yes, so you can't go another branching there. So that's the situation can be happen. But in the end, if you put as a else condition, means the exclusion, you can add there. Then the combination, either it could be, means in the particular, you can say branching, it could be either and or or. So that's very important factor, that whenever you are defining the condition in the branching, you need to make sure either you are going to use and or or. It can't be the combination and or. And or. Okay. Can't be the both one. And whenever you are defining the business process flow, it's optional that you can take the relationship. This is what I explained you earlier. So the relationship must be one-to-many relationship that you can have. Okay. Then you have more importantly that you can't have more than one active process on that particular data row, or you can say of the stage of the record. So only one business process flow can be activated at a one time. So let's say if you are going to switch the process, so what the system will do, it will deactivate the older one and activate a new one. So that's is, you can say, very important point that you have to think about it by the time that you are setting up any business process flow. Then you can also rearrange all of the tiles. Either you can uh, readjust the stages, tabs, conditions. So this is up to you. You can use the drag and drop. This is what I also showed you. Then main thing is when merging the branches, all PS branches must be merged into the single stage. So that's single stage. It can't be go to the cross stage. So it should be within the same stage that you can see single stage there. And the peer branch must all either merge to the single stage, or each peer branch must end in the process. So this is what I showed you. End of the process, which I ended here, or it's a continuation of the next one. And the peer branch can't merge with other branches and at same time and same endpoint. So you can't end the business process at the end level, or you can say that at the level of the branching. So there should be a stage should be available there. Either it's the closure or it's a continuation part. This is what I just recently covered, that to enable the business process flow on a custom or even for the system table, you just need to select the checkbox of means where you select the business process flow. You just need to enable that particular checkbox there under the table definition. Okay. And one important point is related to the automation. The client API changes can't trigger evaluation of branching condition. as branching relies on the business rule, so you can't apply the client scripting on directly on which is coming on the branching. So it should come on the business rule level. Okay. And the second thing, 16 point is related to the if a solution includes the business process flow table, means that's the one thing you have it. The solution that you are going to export, it should also contain the business process flow along with its table. You wouldn't be able to do it, means even though you are going to export it and you will try to import it in another organization, system will give you the error because the business process flow is there, but there is no table associated with it. So always you need to make sure the table is also added there, even though because by the time that you are going to create any business process flow in the system, table will be created. You would require to add it manually if you're using the legacy. But I think on the new environment, it's automatically added there. But you can recheck on the environment. And last point is, which is I just recently added here, the action related to it. In the action, if you want to use it as a business process flow, because have you seen it in the process? Let me show you one thing very importantly. Then we will end of our discussion. There is a one check you will find there under the processes of the particular action if it is going to include or add it as a in the business process flow. So just need to make sure that particular action has that tick box as a on. So let me show you from here. So here it is. What was the action that we were doing? This one, lead disqualification. No, there are lead verification we are doing here. Let me just open this one. You need to make sure that business process flow is enabled here. So that's this as a business process flow action step. So you just need to make sure that this particular part is enabled if you want to use any action on the business process flow. But there are some consideration that by the time that you are working, so the input or output parameter can't be table, entity, collection, or option set. You can say the choices. It can't be as a input or output. And action with more than one entity reference as output, it doesn't support, or any number of the input as entity reference, it doesn't support. And also main thing is the action should be linked with the entity, primary entity, whatever the entity is there. So lead, opportunity, account, contacts, whatever the action that you're using, it should be linked with any particular entity. It shouldn't be a global action. So that's the last point that I would like to discuss with you. So now next point that what we have covered today, although we have bypassed our time, we had the understanding of the business process flows. We also learned about how we have managed, how we can manage the business process flow. In our next process, or that's a mistake here, the next process that next you can say the schedule is on for the Power Automate. That's the you get correction, it's not here. So Power Automate we will be discussing on the next week. You can take a look on the references, and also there are some automation part that you can also consider, or you can also see there by the time that you are working on the action. Also by the working on the business process flow means you can also automate by using the client side scripting, even though you through the plugin you can also do automation here, or even through the workflow. So these are the all links are there. So if you want to decrease, or you can say eliminate the manual action, you want to automate, so you can take the scripting part, plugin, or a workflow where you can automate the complete business process flow by the system end. So in our upcoming session, we will be talking about Power Automate. Now that's the interesting factor is the Power Automate is again it's a very big in the discussion. So we will see if we can split or we can do it within one session. So definitely we will try to explain as much as possible. But again, it requires a little bit because healthy time for our cover the automate. And if we are going to split the Power Automate session in two sessions, then our next two session will be only based on that particular topic. Once we complete Power Automate, then we will move on to the Postman, or you can say using the web API through Postman or C#. It's just like manipulation or execution of any, you can say, web API interaction that you can do it. That's the sampling that we can also show you about the web API within the, you can say, Postman or C Sharp. So that could be helpful for you to do any, you can say, integration, as well as if you want to extend the business logic on the top of Dynamics 365 or Power Platform.
Now, I would suggest to do actually two sessions. The first one, the reason is first we need to get familiar with the Power Automate itself as a
Hmm,
whole. You know,
hmm,
it is not just related to Dynamics or Dataverse. I mean, it's the full thing. So in the second, so first we'll just get through all the concepts of Power Automate, the flows, the cloud flows, and all that, and then we can in the second session we can just focus on the Dataverse connector because there will be many scenarios. I guess Naveed, you have a question. Your hand is raised.
Sir, my question is that the date is correct because 12th and
Yeah,
13th
yeah.
are
The
Ah,
the
yeah,
date
there's
is
a
same.
I think
mistake.
it's
Yeah,
20th.
again, there's a mistake. Copy paste.
Yeah, we'll share the new schedule. I would suggest to split it into two. One will be the basics of Power Automate, how it can be triggered, and what kind of connectors are available, what kind of conditions we can apply, things like that. The control features, and then we can in the second session we'll target the Dataverse itself, Dynamics
Yeah, exactly.
365.
Eventually, it was supposed to be September 20th. Instead of 20th,
Yeah.
became 12th. No problem. So what we will do on 13th and 20th, we are going to split the Power Automate
All
session.
right,
And then
right.
afterwards, we will talk about, you can say, we will have a conversation on the web API working with Postman and C Sharp. So that sounds perfect.
All right.
That's amazing.
Perfect.
Okay, so I think we are good to go and we can conclude our today's discussion. Really appreciate once again till the late hours that you are with us and hope to see you next week, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank
Inshallah,
you.
sir.
Bye
Inshallah.
bye.